Hello everyone, I'm here with my next video on the model millionaire. This story is by Oscar Wilde. In this video, we have the summary with a lot of colorful pictures and the question and answers, extra questions and reference to context questions. I hope this video will be helpful to you. Let us go through the summary. The protagonist of the story is a young man called Huggy Erskine. Huggy is handsome, charming, and popular, but he has been very unlucky as far as financial matters are concerned. He was left nothing of any great value in his father's will. He has tried his hand at several different businesses, all of which have failed. Having no job, Huggy's only source of income is £200 a year, which is given to him by an elderly aunt. Huggy has fallen in love with a young woman named Laura Merton, and she loves him in return. Laura's father, Colonel Merton, is fond of Huggy, but due to his poor financial prospects, he does not want the young man to marry his daughter. He has often told Huggy that he will only allow him to get engaged to Laura after he has earned £10,000. Huggy goes to his friend Alan Trevor. He is an artist friend. He finds that Alan is painting a portrait of an old man who appears to be a beggar. The old man is wearing a tattered brown cloak and boots which have been mended many times. He has a rough walking stick in one hand. In the other hand, he is holding out an old hat as if to ask for money. His face is heavily wrinkled and he looks extremely sad. Both Alan and Huggy agree that the old man is an excellent subject for painting. Huggy, however, cannot help feeling sorry for the man. He thinks it is unfair that although Alan's paintings regularly sell for 2,000 guineas, he also pays his model 1 shilling an hour to pose for him and does not give them a percentage of the money which he makes from sales of their portraits. When Alan leaves the room, Huggy looks in his pockets. He finds that the highest denomination coin which he has is a sovereign. Although it means that he will have to economize more than usual for the rest of the month, Huggy gives the coin to the old man, who appears very happy to receive it. Huggy leaves soon afterwards. Alan and Huggy meet up again later. The artist tells his friend that after he left, the old man asked several questions about him. Alan goes on to say that he told the old man all about Huggy, Laura Merton, and the condition which Colonel Merton said that prevents their marriage. Huggy is unhappy that his friend told that old beggar all about his private life. The amused Alan tells Huggy that the old man he was painting was Baron Hausberg, one of the wealthiest men in Europe and someone who often buys Alan's paintings. For reasons which Alan does not really understand, the millionaire Baron had asked to be painted as a beggar. The tattered clothes he was wearing were supplied by Alan. Huggy feels ashamed about having given a coin to a millionaire, although Alan tells him not to worry. The following day, a representative of Baron Hausberg comes to Huggy's house with an envelope. The writing on the envelope says that it contains a wedding present from an old beggar. Inside the envelope, Huggy finds a check for £10,000. Huggy and Laura get married. Baron Hausberg attends their wedding. This story has been written by Oscar Wilde, and here we can see a picture of Laura and Huggy getting married. The themes of the story. The main theme of the story is that appearances can be misleading. That is, appearances are deceptive. We must not judge people on the basis of how they look or the clothes they wear. The other important theme is generosity, compassion, and kindness. Huggy is so moved by the sight of the beggar that he gives him whatever little money he had. Let us start with question and answers. Question 1a. Which occupation did Huggy Erskine try his hand at? The answer is, he tried his hand at several occupations. First, he tried to become a stockbroker, but that didn't work out. Then he became a tea merchant for a little over 6 months, but that didn't work out either. Finally, he became a handsome young man with no profession. Question 1b. Why could Huggy not marry Laura? The answer is, he could not marry Laura as he did not have enough money to be able to take care of her. Laura's father, Colonel Merton, was fond of Huggy, but due to his poor financial prospects, he did not want the young man to marry his daughter. Question 1c. Why was Trevor fond of Huggy? The answer is, he was fond of Huggy because of his charm, good nature, his sense of loyalty towards his friends, and the fact that he was kind and compassionate. He was sincere and generous even though he was himself poor. Question 1d. Give a description of the old man whose portrait Alan Trevor was painting. The answer is, he is described as an elderly man. His face was wrinkled and he looked sad. He had a coarse brown cloak over his shoulders, torn and worn out. He wore thick boots that were patched and cobbled. He also held a battered hat for arms. Question 1e. Why did Huggy give money to the old man? The answer is, Huggy gave money to the old man because he looked poverty-stricken and forlorn. He mistakenly believed that he was in need of money and handed him a sovereign. Question 1f. What information about Huggy was given to the old man by Alan Trevor? The answer is, he told the old man about Huggy that he was a good person who was in love with Laura. However, due to financial problems, her father would not let her marry Huggy. Question 1g. Who was the old man in reality? The answer is, in reality, the old man was Baron Hausberg, one of the richest men in Europe. He was so wealthy that, according to Alan, he could even buy the whole of London. Question 1h. What a surprising twist in the tale? The answer is, the surprising twist was that the beggar who was modelling turned out to be one of the richest men in Europe. He took a liking to Huggy because of his generosity and sent Huggy a cheque of £10,000 through Monsieur Gustave Naudin, his messenger, as a wedding present. This generosity solved Huggy's problem of getting married to Laura. Question 2. Take the correct option. A part. Which of these professions were not attempted by Huggy? Number 1. Working at the stock exchange. Number 2. Teaching in elementary school. Number 3. Selling tea. Number 4. Selling paintings. The option 2 is correct. Teaching in elementary school was not tried by Huggy. B part. Which of these adjectives describes Huggy the best? Aggressive, artistic, lazy, compassionate. On reading this story, we come to know that Huggy was very kind and compassionate in nature. So answer 4 is correct. Option 4 is correct. C part. Why did Trevor leave the room for some time? Number 1. He was called away by the frame maker. 2. He went to bring snacks for Huggy. 3. He went to collect some paint and brushes. 4. He went to get some money to pay the beggar man. The correct answer is option A, that is 1. He was called away by the frame maker. Question D. Huggy was dash when he learnt that Trevor had spoken about his private matters to the beggar. Options are number 1, pleased, number 2, dismayed, number 3, surprised, number 4, repulsed. The correct answer is option 2, dismayed. Reference to context questions. Third A part. Huggy Erskine was wonderfully good looking and was as popular with everyone. He had every accomplishment except that of making money. His only inheritance was a cavalry sword and a history of Peninsular War in 15 volumes. Now this is the extract. Although here you have dotted lines in between, but I have read the whole extract for you. This is in the starting of the chapter. Number 1. Provide instances from the story which justify the statement that Huggy was popular with everyone. The answer is the line, the colonel was very fond of Huggy, tells us that Huggy was popular. Trevor liked Huggy as latter was charming and good-natured. Eventually, the old beggar who was modeling for Trevor also became fond of him because of his heartfelt generosity towards him. He even made a speech for him at his wedding. Question 2. What did he inherit from his father? The answer is he inherited a cavalry sword and a set of books from his father. The name is given on the top, that is History of Peninsular War in 15 volumes. You can even mention that. Question 3. What was his only means of livelihood? The answer is Huggy lived off the little money that an old aunt of his had left him. Number 4. How was his financial status an obstacle to winning the hand of woman he loved? The answer is the colonel wanted his daughter to marry a man who could provide her with a comfortable life. Since Huggy was not rich, it became an obstacle to their marriage. Question B. Let us quickly go through the extract. One morning, as he was on his way to Holland Park, where the Mertons lived, he dropped in to see his friend, a great friend of his, Alan Trevor. Question 1. What work did Alan Trevor do? Number 1. Answer is Alan Trevor was an artist. Question 2. Why did Huggy feel sorry for the beggar man? The answer is he felt sorry for the beggar man because he looked forlorn and miserable. Question 3. How did he try to help the beggar? The answer is he tried to help the beggar by giving him a sovereign, a British coin of some value. Question 4. What was the beggar's reaction to Huggy's gesture? The answer is the old man felt surprised, then smiled and thanked Huggy. Extra questions. Question 1 is, draw the character sketch of Huggy Erskine. Answer is, Huggy Erskine was a charming young man who unfortunately lacked financial luck. He was generous and sympathetic to those he believed to be less fortunate than himself. Everyone found him appealing. However, despite having many admirable and endearing traits, he had not been able to establish a successful career for himself. Though he had attempted a number of different professions, he could not fare well in any. He was considered to be an eligible bachelor by even the father of the girl he loved. However, owing to financial instability, he could not marry the girl. In the end, it was his generosity and kindness towards a fellow human being that brought him luck. Question 2. Why do you think the beggar man smiled when Huggy gave him a sovereign? The answer is, the beggar was inwardly amused at the situation. Huggy had handed him a sovereign, mistaking him for a real beggar when he was in reality a millionaire. He smiled, appreciating Huggy's generous heart while feeling tickled at the same time. Question 3. Explain. Millionaire models are rare enough, but model millionaires are rarer still. The answer is, this statement is a comment on the rarity of wealthy people who do not only have money but also generosity and understanding. A millionaire model refers to a wealthy person who becomes a model for selling something, while a model millionaire is a wealthy person who has a great character and nobility and hence becomes a role model for everyone to emulate. However, since most millionaires are not like him, the author uses the phrase rarer still. In other words, one is less likely to find a generous, witty, and appreciative millionaire compared to finding a millionaire willing to pose for a picture. Question 4. Why did Baron Hausberg give such an extravagant wedding gift to Huggy? He gave Huggy an extravagant gift to appreciate Huggy's kindness and his generous spirit. Question 5. What moral message is conveyed through this story? The answer is, one of the most important messages of the story is that true wealth is not measured by the amount of money one has, but by the way one treats others. Another message is that kindness and generosity of spirit are always rewarded. True wealth comes from having a large heart. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you have still not subscribed my channel, please press the subscribe button and also the bell icon for the latest notifications. Goodbye.